Okay, so we're going to demonstrate how to import a weapon to Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 using Blender. I already kind of demonstrated this in a very long live stream a couple weekends ago, but rather than try to pull that one out, excise it, and upload that one separately, I figured, why not just make a separate one and try to streamline it a little bit better, make it a bit more clear, go from there, see what happens. And my plan, what I want to do here, do I have Noesis open? Yeah. Is I'm going to bring in Marluxia's Scythe from Kingdom Hearts, and I'm going to replace the Eclipse Scythe in NG2 with this. So how are we going to get this in the game? I'm going to show you how. So first things first, I mentioned in the live stream that I copied my Sigma 2 data bin. I put it in a whole nother drive, and I renamed the folder that it's in. Team Ninja thought it'd be cool to use this goofy Sigma and this goofy 2 in the actual file path. When you're trying to run tianmuxia's tools, it chokes on those symbols. It doesn't know how to process those symbols. Quickest solution, go into the data bin, copy the data bin to somewhere else, and then rename the folder that it's in to just something that doesn't have those goofy characters in it. I got my tools up here, the importer, the unpacker, the TMCs, FBXs, and all that other stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our scythe, which is cam, and it's going to be 3179 is item cam C. You're going to take the TMC, we're going to copy. We're going to go back out to the main folder. We're going to paste them. We're going to use the TMC to FBX tool. We're going to take the cam, TMC, drag it in, and convert it to FBX. Easy peasy. So now we're going to go into Blender, import FBX. We're going to go to our DOA tool folder. We're going to find our cam, which is right here. Make sure it's at 100 scale, because for whatever reason, it's default to 1, just tiny. We're going to import it, and there is the Eclipse Scythe. So with these weapons here, like the katana, the scythe, the lunar, the bones usually are references for where Ryu will put his hands, or they're just references for where the object will rotate. You can see this bone right here is actually a focal point for the blade of the scythe to rotate in when you stow it. And then this right here is when it's being swung. And it would rotate if the weapon was parented to those bones, but it isn't, and it doesn't need to be. You just leave the bones alone. Either leave it be or hide it, just don't forget it. So returning to our outliner up here, we can see all the different objects that we have in our workspace. These numbers on the end, 01_00, 02_02. The first number is your GeoID, and the second number is your subset index. Do you need to memorize? Do you need to know that the first number is your GeoID and the second number is your subset index? No. Do you need to know when you are trying to convert from TMC to FBX that if the tool tells you that there is an issue with an object that is GeoID 01, subset index 01, do you need to know how to read that? Yes. And that happens time to time. It can happen if you try to load too many textures into an asset. So here's an example. We're going to go to FBX to TMC, right? Let's take this Zanba FBX right here, and let's try to feed it into this map texture. This is actually the Hayabusa Ninja Village map, and it's not going to make sense. So it's trying to write all this node info. It's not making any sense, and then we get warnings. Texture count is greater than the original TMC's texture count. The texture count of the FBX is reading 4, and the original texture count is supposed to be 2. Well, what object are we talking about? GeoID 0, subset index 0, so it's 0_0. We only have 2 parking spots, and you're trying to fit 4 cars in 2 parking spots, so you need to go to 0_0, and you need to take out 2 of those textures to make this right. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So same here. Hey, you're telling me at 0_1, you're trying to feed me 3 textures. Well, there's only enough room for 2. So you need to do something about that. So that's a limitation you definitely need to consider. And this will tell you in which direction to go with your troubleshooting. So yes, GeoID, subset index, definitely pay attention to this when you see it, because it's telling you exactly what object to look at in your workspace and how to fix it. Looking at our GeoIDs, looking at our subset indices, we can actually break everything down into, looks like 4 greater objects, 4 categories. We have our 0, 0s, and then we have our 0, 1 section. Then we have our 0, 2, which is these 4. And then here is the 3 series, and it is a full scythe. We're going to import our Kingdom Hearts scythe, and it's a PSK, so we're going to use our PSK add-on, and we're only importing the mesh. We do not want the skeleton. And there it is. Mesh. Boop. Oh, it's ginormous. So we're just going to shrink it down some. Cool. And then we're going to rotate it. Rotate it. And then we're going to try to line it up the best we can here. Now I'm going to bring the armature back up because this is, again, showing me where Ryu is going to handle, or at least swing the scythe, and then where the scythe is going to rotate its blade. So I can kind of manipulate this some, just to kind of get an idea of how this thing is going to spin. All right, so I have my gaining asset on top of my losing asset. Now that we have our object in place, we're going to go to Object Properties. We're going to look here at Location, Rotation, and Scale. Now, rotation is interesting. Rotation is not going to be zeroed out or 1'd out. It's going to be 90 at X and then zeros at Y and Z. And it's the same thing for costumes that are not parented to Armature. For Ryu, that would be his headgear, not the muffler hanging from his back, but the scarf that's around his neck. I think his face and the balaclava. All that stuff is not parented to his armature. It doesn't move with his skeleton. So weapons, it's the same thing. It's going to be it's not parented to the armature, so it's going to be 90-degree X rotation. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to apply rotation, zeroed it out. Now I want the rotation X to say positive 90, so I'm going to move this to neg 90, apply again to zero it out, positive 90, and now it's done. Oh, is it though? Because look at that, it's actually at an angle. I wish I could just apply the y-axis. But what are you going to do? That, do negative 90 again, apply rotation, positive 90. Okay, now the side is where I want it to be. So far, so good. We're going to highlight everything ellipse-wise, and then delete all the vertices in edit mode. And then we're going to take our scythe, control, click the first object in that series, control J to join. We're going to open it up. There's vertex groups here. Delete the vertex groups. And in material properties, we have 2 materials, mat 0041, and then this W underscore X, whatever the hell. We want to delete the new material, the material that came with the Kingdom Hearts scythe. It's not going to know to look for that. It's going to be looking for this. So we're going to take the Kingdom Hearts textures and the shaders, and we're going to shove them into the NG material. So we're going to go into our shader tab. We're going to go to our texture here, go to our material, diffuse. So there's that. We're going to find our normal. It's right there. And there it is. You can see it. Now I'm going to change it to non-color because normals are data maps, not color maps. If I mute it and unmute it, you can sort of see the difference there, especially in the blade. I'm not going to import this. This is the MERV map. This is for specularity, for roughness, for metallicness. And Sigma 2 does not know how to read these colors. It dabbles in black and white, grayscale specular maps. It does not dabble in these kinds of maps. This is an Unreal Engine thing. We're going to drop metallic and specular because this shit doesn't reflect in game. We know that that is correct. That's how it looks. It looks good. The placement is good, but that is just one of all these different objects that we have up here. And where did I get these textures from? I got these textures from the Kingdom Hearts folder, from the same place where I got the model. And that's not going to work either. When we go to convert this weapon, this FBX, to a TMC, we need these textures to be in DDS form and in the same folder as the original Eclipse Scythe textures. All right, so we have that open here. And I'm going to save as Intel DDS. And it's going to be color BC1. Excellent. We're going to save this as a color plus alpha BC3, or also known as a DXT5. And then, just in case, while I'm at it, I'm going to take this map, I'm going to change it to grayscale, and I'm going to do a little brightness adjustment, just this. I might do that a little bit. We're going to save this as color 1, and we need to put them in the DDS folder that our Eclipse Scythe is pulling its textures from. I'm going to cut that. So up here in the root folder, in our parent folder, I guess, with our converters and everything, DDS. And there it is right there, KMC 03179. I have this arranged by modified date. And there's the textures, right? And this one should look familiar. This is the one that we were looking at in Blender. This is the one that was being mapped to the model that we were just messing around with. So we are definitely going to be replacing 02 eventually, but we're not quite there yet, which is fine. I'm just going to move these textures in here for right now. Now we're going to have to rename the textures because this will not do. The game will not know what to do with this. They have to read text -00, 01, 02, has to read something along those lines. Additionally, it has to reach back to the same folder. All right, so we have our object in here. We deleted the vertices from, we deleted the vertices of the old object. But before we move on to the next set of objects, let's go through here and let's just do some cleanup. In these object containers up here, there are no objects, but there's still these UV maps. Well, they're not mapped to any meshes because, you know, they're all gone. We deleted them all. So we need to delete all these UV maps as well. Otherwise, we'll get an error when we go to export. All right, so up here we have this staff, the blade right here. We're going to duplicate and then actually do a separate by selection, maybe. So we have 3 pieces here that make up the staff. Well, I just have this one here. So we're going to delete all these vertices. Get it out. Now we're going to join this with that one. Control J. Cool. And then this one. It's going to go here. Joined. Good. There's 2 materials there. All right, so let's open these up, see what we got. So there's 1 material here, which is great. There's no meshes here. Let's delete these UV maps. And down here we have this mesh here. So UV map, good. 2 materials, not good. Do we want 0243 or 0041? Well, they're all the same, so might as well keep the same one. And here is 02. This is going to be the folded up scythe. Let us duplicate our sort of piecemealed out scythe. Shift D. 02, 0201 is the staff. 02, 02, 02, 03 is the blade. So we're going to take this. Make sure we got it all highlighted. X to delete the vertices. Get out of that. This is going to go join up there. And then this. It's going to go in there. And then this needs to be rotated. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it right here. So we're going to set a 3D cursor right there, set the origin to the 3D cursor, Go to rotate, and then try to do that. And that should be okay. There's a mesh. There's nothing. There's a mesh. There's nothing. So this is it. This is it object-wise. It's all got to be lined up in the same way, and you got to make sure that all the rotation, the object data, is all good, which it ought to be because we made sure, oh shit, look at that. We did a rotation here, remember? And we need to apply that rotation. So apply location, apply rotation. Let's make sure everything else is good. 90, no weird outliers. Okay. All right, so this needs to be neg 90. Apply rotation. 90. Good. Okie dokie. And then UV maps should be good as well. Mesh, UV maps, good. No mesh, no UV maps. So every time you see UV maps, you better have a mesh. No modifiers, no vertex groups. We're going to go back to shading for textures. Now, all the textures for the old asset are gone. So we're going to go into our folder, and we're just going to look and see what we have. This is 0, 0. 0, 1 is the normal. 0, 2, 0, 3 is normal. And 0, 4 is this tiny little fucker right here. We're going to delete this 0, 0. Call this one 0, 0. And then the blade is its own map. We're going to delete that. We're going to copy and paste this. 0, 2. And then 0, 1 is a normal, and 0, 3 is a normal. So yeah, we will not have space for our specular. 0, 1. And 0, 3. What I might do, though, is delete that 0, 4, even though I don't know where it is applied, and put that 0, 4 in there, and then we can just sort of see what happens. We're going to go to our shaders, or nodes. We're going to go back to our original Eclipse Scythe folder, right? So DOA tool, DDS 03179, and here's everything we just renamed. So we want color map, and now it automatically went to text 00. So it sees that the file path is exactly the same. It's like, hey, I'm back at the original file path, the file path I'm supposed to be. I'm pointing exactly where I'm supposed to be pointing at exactly the same file as far as it knows, because it's named the same, 00.dds, and it switched to text-00. That is splendid. That means we can move on to the next one, the normal. Good. And I'm going to grab the specular while I'm at it. Change it to one color. Now, because we made those changes to the object that is assigned to this material, 0041, if the other models were also assigned to that material, then they all should have updated to these textures as well. So there's that. 0041, text 00, text 04, text 01, good. 00, text 01, good. All right, so this one, we have two materials here. Let's delete that old one. Here we go, looking good. Now all these other empty objects, right? We deleted the UV maps. Do we need to delete this workspace? No, it's fine. You can just leave that alone. All right, so in the shader tab, we saw that every texture is labeled text dash. All the location, rotation, scale data is good. Everything in the workspace is arranged the way it is supposed to be. And because we deleted the vertices and not the objects in the outliner, we didn't have to rename anything up here. So we are using the original names, the original naming convention, so the game will have no issue reading this. And that might be good. So our armature is unhidden. That's great. We're going to press A to select all. I'm going to go to File, Export, FBX. I have a preset for Sigma 2. It selects Armature, Mesh, and Other. It limits to selected objects, which is why we pressed A. No animation, uncheck bake animation if it is checked. Armature, no deform bones, no leaf bones. Geometry, normals only. Tangent space, apply modifiers. I mean, there aren't any in this case, but when you're doing weapons with vertex groups like the twin swords or costumes, you're gonna need those modifiers. And then transforms, 1, all local, negative Z forward, Y up. That should all just be left alone. You should be good. I'm going to go to DOA tool. I'm going to export this as Marluxia Eclipse. We're going to export and we're going to see What happens? And I don't have an error message. I don't have nothing. Awesome. Alrighty, so we're gonna go back to our DOA tool folder. We're gonna open up our tool. Now I have amended the FBX to TMC converter with a little extra script just to make sure that the textures write correctly. If you watch the stream when I was trying to do my Pilgrim mod, the textures were kind of goofy, but I got some help and made a few changes here. So far so good. We're gonna run FBX to TMC. We're gonna find Marluxia Eclipse FBX. We're gonna put it up here, enter. The original TMC, which is around here somewhere. There it is, 03179 KMC. Now, if you want to verify that the correct folder has the textures that you want your new asset to use, you're going to go into your DDS folder and look for the folder that shares this name, 03179_I_cam_C, which is that right there. And yes, we are good. We went in and we had 5 total textures. We replaced them all. You do not want to delete textures that you're not using. If you're not using them, you're not using them. But once you get your TMC in there, enter, enter again. Now, we have unknown bone name type, repack texture success. So these messages right here, the unknown bone name, the bone stuff, I've seen those errors before. It doesn't mean dick to me. My mods still come out working just fine as far as I can tell. I don't know what this is about, but what is more important really is this. If you do not have a DDS folder with the corresponding name like this one, you're going to get a repack texture fail. We're going to just minimize this for right now. And we're going to open up our mods folder on my other monitor here. So in Sigma 2, the same folder as the executable, we have TN's NG loader, mods, and here's all my mods. I'm going to grab repack, TMC, TMCL, drag it to mods. Now we're going to rename them to their ID numbers, their data file numbers, and then give them the data file extension. 03179.dat tab 03180.dat for the TMCL. Now we're going to launch Sigma 2 and we're going to launch that sucker. And let's see what we got. Man, it's freezing down here. Fuck. So here's Suma. Let's find the scythe. Wowzers! Holy shit! It is huge, and it is shiny. It is fucking huge. All right, but this is technically a success. The mesh has imported properly. You can see it. The textures are applied pretty... Something's going on with that spike right there at the... Yeah, something's going on with those spikes. You can kind of see how they're reflecting. Like it's baked in, however it's reflecting is kind of different. But, wow. That is big. So if we unstow it, you can see how Ryu's holding it. You can see, yeah, it is a little big for his hand. But, man, there it is, man. It is quite large. So, yeah, we can make some adjustments if required, which, yeah, I think we're going to do that real quick. Now, because it's a weapon, super easy to check any adjustments. Switch weapons. Okay, so it does look shorter. And you can still kind of look at how the spikes are. It looks pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Pardon me. It looks like we have success. Let's do the damn thing. Nice. Wow. That's pretty sick. Now, what's kind of goofy is how I have it rotating, because you can just see right through it. You can just see right down the damn thing. But, I mean, it is what it is. Plus, yeah, there are some oddities regarding how these textures are mapped. So there might be something we might have to do something regarding regarding the UVs. More work might need to be required for this. I don't know. Wow. Come on, jackasses. Really? Really? Nice. The after image? What the? Bitch! I'm still alive. Dude, a freaking Boda UT didn't kill that dog. I can't believe that shit. Nice. What? Where are you going, Rue? Damn, Underworld drop is pretty sick. Hmm. Pardon me.